That's that recording. That's that recording. So all that is left for me to do is get the following words correct. Tough job because I'm absolutely knackered. You are listening to Let's Go. Also got no
Oh
wind.
boy.
I want to take a second pass at that. Are your guys' videos on? Because I can only see me for some reason.
I
Yes,
can see me and you
See-
and you.
How weird. All right, if you guys make a face at me, I won't be able to tell. So that's fine.
You see this?
I both had the same idea.
I assume you both gave me the finger, but I can't tell you.
Thumbs up. We made spectacles, eyeglasses out of our fingers, and just kind of made funny eyes at you. Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
He bought it, Brian.
Damn it, I missed it.
You are listening to Let's Go, the weekly anime podcast about weekly anime from Dynamite in the Brain and Secret of the Sailor Madness. So come along and hang with the Let's Go gang. It's Dwayne.
Hello.
It's Niall.
Harry.
And it's me, Brian, now recovering from 2 extra busy weekends. Got 1 weekend off, and then I've got 3 more busy weekends. So let's see how the old man holds up.
They're being popular.
Well, no, because the next 3 things I'm going to on my own. So
you could have lied.
in this episode, we are covering anime that aired the week of August the 26th to September the 1st, 2023, with the solitary exception of me and Roboco episode 21, Love and Roboco, where Roboco falls in love with a police officer of sorts.
I'm not sure it was a real cap. I didn't see no badge. But
I think by
it's lingo,
technicality,
right?
she fell in love with a road sign, essentially.
It's a very advanced road sign.
Oh,
you know.
yeah. Obviously, yeah. All road signs in the future are meant to look like rugged, like just chiseled jawline, handsome police officers. But
This is one that benefits greatly from having like bedroom like audio with it, because then you have like very romantic kind of love ballad musical cues kick in. It's just like it's just, and then perfectly cut off then with the fucking how fast this thing clips 2 bits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the gag is that this road sign is giving out safety information and guiding traffic automatically with its rotating arm, and Roboco is misinterpreting everything it says as it initially being rude to her, but then it's like a
but you're looking out for me kind of thing, which it is technically, I guess.
It's
looking
typical shoujo comic meet cute, where like he's a gruff sort of kind of standoffish character, and she's going, "Why, you meanie? You bumped into me. Oh, I can't stop thinking about him. He's such a jerk. But he's just so rugged and handsome, and in his own way, he's trying to look out for me. Or when he's kitten, he's keeping guard behind his back. Oh, he's actually a real softy at heart. Maybe he really cares about me." And this is all just like she reads a lot of comics, obviously.
And it's not her like mishearing it slightly, as in like, I am looking out for the public safety. You're looking out for my safety. It's like no. It's like roadworks will be going to the 14th, and it's just, she's just like, how dare you say that to me? You looked up my skirt, didn't you? It's just like, no, it didn't say anything close to that, Roboco. Where are you getting this? And it's her own self-obsessed head is where she's getting it. Yeah.
That's the joke. It's 2 minutes long, or however long it is. Very short. Then we got Zom 100, episode 6, RV of the Dead. Which finally we get an episode which looks like a show that's got schedule problems.
Dear.
It's popular.
Yeah, it's not terrible. It's just notably a step down from all guns blazing.
There was some very high quality stuff in the last episode, so yeah, it really shows it up.
There's lots of people carrying around boxes in a warehouse packing yard. That's your bag. You are all set.
Yes.
You even had to go back and reuse old characters who thought were dead. Or assumed were dead.
The first half of the episode is the 2 lads meet up with the woman again, and we get a name.
Shizuka.
That's it.
They both went on the same idea of getting an RV because it's a staple of zombie movies.
Yes. So they go to the fanciest showroom around, and they go shopping for an RV, and they all have. Well, she has initially the sensible decision.
Gotta
They
be
have
efficient. It's gotta be a thing you can just fucking get in, get out. You got
Gotta be
anything
all
that you need
road.
trucked up,
Hybrid, I suppose, will be good because like where petrol's going to
four-wheel
be a bit of a
drive.
trouble.
Yeah, the lads are going, but it's got a hot tub. Come on.
and I just want to take the most expensive one in it. In there, then she spots like a VW camper van. That was
Just
all
an
brand-
adorable fucking van. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's real glamping interior. It's like a hotel room in Bali or some shit like that. So it's like, you like your luxuries as well. We know you do. So
and then
just
Zombie
getting that kick.
They just end up taking the one nearest to them.
It was your kind of standard, American road movie, this white one with the little overhang, the little sleeper cabin.
Yeah, yeah. Probably close to a specific one, but as generic a one as you can possibly imagine.
Yes, and they're on their way out of town on the highway when their tires.
They've also convinced her to work with her because it's like you don't have a license to drive, so you didn't think that bit through, did you? With your practical.
But there are no laws. It doesn't matter.
But she can't drive is the important thing, and I imagine driving an RV is not the easiest fucking thing. But
for your first vehicle, yeah, it would be a challenge.
But yeah, I mean, like they do drive it into the spike strip on the motorway.
Yes, and they get captured by Akira's old boss and enslaved.
Captured? No. He's here to help them. If you work for me for just 3 days, we'll replace your tires. We'll get your friend back on his feet because obviously he had a worse tumble hitting the spike strip on a fucking. God, what's the fake Harley Davidson called? Oh, I can't think of it. It is funny because they keep zooming in on the logo each time, and it's just like that's not even close, lads. But yeah, we'll get him all fixed up, and you just need to work for me for 3 days. We just like old times. Come on, I'm trying to help you out, and our hero is basically like regressing. I think would be the best way.
It's fucking PTSD, and I guess there's like the kind of meta fucking gag right here is that these PTSD flashbacks are always fun. Like it's not like seeing the scores of people who have been eviscerated in the last fortnight.
It's not seeing all the dead people walking around that's giving him PTSD. No.
It's this time I fucking like kowtowed to this dude over and over and over again, treating me like shit, grinding me into the dirt. And I'm back in it again. I guess I just want to please people, and I don't want to make any fuss. So even in the middle of all this like it's just 2 days of heavy manual labor. It'll be fine. He's a good guy, really. He's got
He's just dressed himself up as a baseball-themed gangster, as well as the other baseball.
Oh yeah, but we're seeing like different frames of reference there. If you've watched films you watch when the society breaks down, he went straight to the Warriors and a lot of that 70s stuff with the gangs in New York and that's that's where I want to be.
Like I presume the off-story thing is the zombie apocalypse happened while he was playing softball with his softball team or something like that, and then it's just like, oh, I mean, this works out for us to be gangsters, so yeah, let's keep up the theme.
We got these baseball bats. Who can say that the same? Nobody.
Yeah.
And they've also enslaved the zombies, so who's the real zombie, viewer,
Who's the real
overlay
monster?
groaning working in the hot sun next to a zombie groaning, pulling the RVs and whatnot, and in the background it's like, oh, okay, I see.
I feel sorry for them. My God.
Between watching this today and watching the Turtles movie, I was like, maybe there's some media I'm just a little too old for. I've seen too much of what it's based on that it can't impress me. And now I'm like an old man rolling his eyes at things he's seen time and time again. But the Turtles one was more disappointing.
Oh, that's a pity.
It's still a good movie, but we're not here to talk Turtles.
That's for next week.
I did choose the RV of the Dead, not because it was the best episode, but because it was the most summary one, and it's fucking roasting, so it felt appropriate.
Yes, I'm not a big fan of these dog days of summer. Nor was I a fan of this episode of Zom 100.
It's okay, there's not much for going around.
No, that's true. I think I prefer every other thing we're watching at the moment to someone.
Yeah. I was wondering about the production kind of thing as well, because like you get a lot of the opening is some of the best animation from the first episode, and then obviously it has the hey, remember that good bit of animation from the last episode interspersed in the opening, and I'm just like, you fucking guys, you're fucking really stretching it out, just trying to get it done.
Then we got Dark Gathering 8, Betrothed to pair. God, words won't come out my mouth straight. Betrothed to Divinity.
Mr. Thesaurus over here.
Yeah, so Dark Gathering is a show which is never flashy, but it does come out every week.
It consistently, the quality stays up. It has one or two bits of nice looking stuff. Yeah,
it's the solid, and then this is also like more credit to the manga, but I still do a job of writing here. Just that occasional, just like what's an episode, absolute nightmare tableau. Like I think like you think, oh yeah, sweet, it's a cute little girl, and she's like, no, she's kind of creepy, but she's got a bit of a thug, and it's kind of a bit of that, and it's like, oh yeah, this guy's kind of fun, ghost and that, and then you see this like this fucking absolutely fucking insane, intense, disturbing little bit for like a minute or two. It's quite good at that.
That and our main hero of the little girl who has a cute and toyetic design with the eyes and that kind of shit. You know, people are going to make contacts for that and that kind of thing. But it also, very scary person. Do not like. It's just like, no, I'm going to torture this fucking ghost, so he's in his place. It's good at being creepy, basically. Yeah.
But we get another girl in who's like the new student that Keito's going to be kind of teaching. We get like kind of this, I guess you call it, outside perspective on it. And even like later on when she's freaking out when there are ghosts in the room, he's going like, it's been so long since there's like, a ghost been in the room, people have reacted, you expect a normal person to do. This is kind of refreshing, actually. But I want to protect her smile all the more for that reason.
Yeah, it's such a rotten response he has to that. It's like, I mean, it reflects badly on the people he hangs out with.
Yeah, but it's also reflecting on him that he's in too fucking deep now, that he's relieved that someone's screaming that there's a ghost. It's like, oh, thank fuck. I'm not the most freaked out person here. That's nice for once.
One thing I don't think we've ever mentioned is the narrator, who.
Oh yeah.
The bit at the start, that they were like setting it up as well.
Yeah,
Ghost killed her family, and she wants revenge.
Yeah, because it's Yoshihiro Nakamura, of which there is no voice actor of that name. There is a director of that name and screenwriter of that name. I don't know if it's that Yoshihiro Nakamura. But the voice is so different to all the anime voices.
It's really flat in a way that's like especially when it does like the next episode preview. It's like next time on Unsolved Mysteries. It's like very it's very serious, and I think it works quite well for it. Yeah,
I think it does. Talking of anime voices, though, Rina Kawaguchi, who's playing Ai, probably the weakest performer, I think, in the show. I think she's
supposed to appear like a normal anime protagonist in this very fucking weird show. But yeah, that's coming across less quality, I guess.
She's playing it very Genki, that's her character. Just trying to get on with things as best as she can, live her best life, because she will experience a dark fate as soon as she turns 20, because she's haunted.
Yeah, I was not expecting her to know that she's going to die when she's 20 because she's been.
It was a nice turn, yeah. A nice twist, I guess, that she's aware of her horrible fucking fate.
Yeah, so she's beset with bad luck, and 49 days ago, her brother died, saving her from falling scaffolding.
And bad luck stuff is always happening her, where she's like tripping and fall. Like she introduces herself by tripping on nothing and falling. So she's a bunch of bad luck around her. But according to her, her brother is protecting her from all these ghosts, giving her bad luck. Or yes. I'm not sure she thinks it's ghosts. She thinks the spirit of her brother's following her around to protect her, basically. Yeah.
Turns out she's being haunted by two creatures, her brother and something else. Joy captures the something else and takes it home. The brother then tries to kill Ai that night, and so Kitaro and Yuyoi have to go and save her because they realize they made a mistake.
They only realize this from the thing they've captured, basically giving them the skinny. Is like, no, the brother's trying to kill her. I'm a good spirit. Weak.
We've moved through all the animals now. We've got as far as like reindeer, and now we have grey alien to put stuff the ghost into now.
We gotta change all the cuddlies.
My favourite moment is when Yayoi asks Kotaro what apartment is she in this block, and he says 301, and she's already halfway up a telegraph pole.
Finally, a little bit of second story work, a little B&E.
Yeah, and she even she does know her way to break and entering, where she has like the tape over the bit of the window, so she can break it with the hammer, reach in and unlatch it.
I just love her. She's just a little thug.
Yeah.
And she's like, the spiritual consultant, for fuck's sake. If you try bashing his head in with a crowbar, who fucks for me?
Works every time, and if it doesn't, bash him a little more.
But why would her brother spirits, which pushed her all the way to falling girders all those years ago, want to kill her? It's to spare her from her dark fate. Because the thing protecting her was the other spirit, which is it's a god. It is she's betrothed to Divinity, and it always keeping something away because it doesn't want anybody else getting its hands on its food.
Yeah, so it's not that they actually managed to stop the brother. It's that the clock ticks over to midnight, and he's like, fuck, I've been dead 50 days. Gotta go, bye, sorry, that was my last shot. And the brother was like, I was trying to kill her so that she doesn't get, murdered, ghost eaten.
Yeah,
ghost murdered by this god, basically?
Yeah, it's not until the very end that we see what this becoming the bride is going to involve, as we see him devouring the guts of his current bride.
And I guess it feeds into that other thing that it mentioned before, where it's like the ghosts can last longer by consuming other ghosts, or in this case, like living people, and eating their ghosts for however many years that it'll eat another woman born into this family, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And no, that isn't a reindeer, but it's broken out. It's like, it's out of the containment unit. It's like it's in the winds. So it's like, shit, that's a badass ghost. But Yayo is gone. It's just the kind of one I need. I need that.
Or it's just the kind of level of ghost I need to be able to kill. If I can kill a god, I'm doing quite well for myself. Yeah.
That's a good one to kind of keep in your pocket, to kind of launch at whatever spiritual fucking entity this guy's got a parent or mother soul at the moment.
In the meantime, though, I need to get you to Aiko's house, because you're being just general floating ghosts are appearing, and there'll be some horrible ones appearing very soon. Your brother's not here to scare them off.
Yeah, so the brother was protecting her from other ghosts that were like, oh, a god wants to eat that. I'm gonna get that. So now the god is not protecting her. It's just like, I'm just going to wait it out and see how things fucking go. And so other ghosts will be attacking her in the meantime. Yeah.
There's some really good for me as well. Like, it's going to talk to the client here, keep them calm, reassure them as she's just like texting with her other hand, without looking at us, to send a phone to her other two phones saying, okay, we got to bring the car around, get her out of here somewhere safe. Can't hold out much longer.
Oh, she does get the other your man's girlfriend into the situation as well by basically texting him. It's like he's here in the bedroom of another girl, and so she like bursts in. It's like, what the fuck is going on? And it's like, how did you get here so quick? I was waiting out in the parking lot with the car, and this like the most like it's like, no, I have a tracker on you at all fucking times.
Yeah. It's so that's the cliffhanger, because Kataro's going to go to the loo before they go home, and he runs into a guy whose eyes
are creepy ghost looking dude.
The cliffhanger. What they're going to do?
Maybe he's really nice.
He could be.
The closest thing to a nice ghost we've met so far is that brother strangling his sister to spare her worst fate. Oh no, wait, that old man they kidnapped as well. That guy wasn't doing anything. He was just dead, nothing to do.
Yeah, the initial ghosts who show up at the end, they're harmless. They're just wandering spirits who've been attracted.
Yeah, but it's going to attract worse ones as well as harmless ones. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Like distinguishing levels of ghosts gives me like I assume they won't go into great detail. It'll be like how they refer to like use it as like background talk, like they did in the first Ghostbusters and not the most recent Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I think
don't be technical about it. No.
It just seems, but like everything is a ghost. It works in the same. They're all made out of the same ectoplasm, but it's different densities. So you get little wandering ghosts, or you get things approaching like a deity, like in this case. It's just a matter of how long they've been around for and how good they are at eating ghost guts. Experience confirm that.
Then we're back onto that island off in the middle of nowhere in Helck episode 8, Back to the Continent.
Getting off the island at last.
How are they going to get there? They have to speak to the witch, Pee-wee, take them to the witch.
Well, initially they're informed by that pink demon looking dude, where it's just like, hey, the witch is in town. It's like, all right, I'll head into town. It's like, what the fuck? I'm here too late. Your man's like, I'm so sorry. I took a nap on the way here.
It's just the whole nonsense. But it's all right. I told her all about your situation. She can reach it. Like up there right now. You turn
left the door open in the magical barrier. Yeah. So you can hop up now.
Okay, I guess you gotta like make a certain page count, but that's cool. This is good up there. Threatening aura, menacing. The Midori approach, there's explosions happening around us, doors thrown open, and inside is the witch, and it's this Pee-wee with bigger of a point to your head. It's like, oh, that's not, get away behind you. Look over here, it's me, the obvious witch. I got a whole big witch's hat and everything, and I also look like an older, taller version of Vermilio. I wonder if it's got anything to do with anything.
Yeah, that was a good thing because it is a good gag that they go, oh, pointy head, the bigger version of Pee-wee. That's the witch.
The fact that it looks like a resident of this island, because Pee-wee's a resident of this island, and everyone on this island looks like a little fucking weird cartoon man. So yeah, that makes sense that the witch would look like that.
But then it's like, oh no, it is still a bigger version of another character.
Yeah.
So it's not that shocking, and it works as a fun joke. And also, she seems super nice, but also very mysterious, as is the way of it.
I got a real sort of fucking Leiji Matsumoto style, like Siren of the Spaceways kind of aura, very, very mysterious kind of thing about her, and it is just like, oh, we have met before, but I can't tell you that right now. Kind of deal with her. It's pretty sound, knows her shape. Continent's that way. You don't need a better boat than that. Fixed up, an engine runs off magical power. It'll be there in no time. Also, you gotta catch this weird, sea deer.
They're incredibly rare because they move back and forth between here and the continent. They'll get you through the foggy area where
because they're kind of a homing instinct to go to migrate back to the other continent.
I'll find it in one of my ancient texts so you can see what it looks like. And Helck's like, yeah, I got one of those last episode.
Yeah. I caught 3 of them actually here right now. No, I saw one this morning actually. I'll go get it. Okay, you go do that. By the way, it's Hulk's guy, you can see he's got his hearts and right side, but watch out for him. He's bottling up a lot of shit, a lot of negative emotion there, and that could spill out anytime. You don't want to be in his way, so watch your back for him. How do you know all these things? I have my ways. Don't you worry about that. I'm a witch.
Witches know this shit.
Magic is everywhere.
Though we don't know the specifics, it's just like he does want to kill all humans, of which he was born and is and was raised with and was friends with humans. What fucking happened that he wants to kill all of them? And also, they want him for the crime of killing his brother. Whether he did that, that's a fucked up thing to be fucking looking for someone for. So yeah, there's definitely some. She's right about the darkness, but we don't know the specifics.
Well, it's just like she's starting to see he's somebody I could call an ally. He could be a real ally, like a friend to me. It just kind of comes back on to when she was asking him before. Well, these angel dudes they're all your former friends. Are you okay with fighting them? If I'm saying, yeah, I do. I got to. It's what I gotta do to achieve what I gotta do, and. That's going to come back around to her because he's going to take him in and get more on his side. Saying maybe he is pretty legit, and he is legit, but he's going to have to do what he's got to do, and now he'll have to turn on those same friends that he's made.
Also, Vermilio is starting to think with the instructions from the witch is like, it's the world that we know. The world is it just a tiny part of the world?
Yeah, it's a few bits of her dialogue. Like it's like, I know which continent you're from, and it's like there's more than one continent.
Yeah,
that kind of thing. Also, this island is a complete fucking unknown with something living on it that's definitely not humans, but also isn't technically demons, and it's nothing. It's like nothing else, basically. Yeah.
yeah. It is a bit like the D&D characters have gone beyond the campaign setting, and the DM's having to wing it.
It's a very small island. Let's start with that.
Or your old school D&D setting where it would deliberately tell you, and beyond these borders, it's up to you. You put whatever you like in there. So they set sail, and I get to add another bursting out of a barrel to my list of people bursting out of a barrels if I ever do that as a panel.
Classic Gambit.
As Pee-wee bursts out of a barrel because the witch has sent him on an adventure as well. And he has a letter of introduction to explain why they shouldn't turn around and kick him off the boat.
Listen, he's actually pretty tough, and he'll be good in a pinch. And also, she's slightly annoyed at Pee-wee for thinking this, but also, I will take the witch's advice of letting my face rub in his very soft belly, because it is very pleasant.
I do feel better after that. Thank you.
And then they get attacked by giant octopus.
Yeah. And Helck's like, I'm gonna get it. And it's like, don't do it, Helck. It'll destroy the entire ship. He's like, yeah, I probably would destroy the entire ship. Yeah.
What about the whirlpool we're now trapped in? And now that it's come back again, it's just like, well, you gotta let me punch it. I'm saying, fine, we're gonna die anyways. Just punch it, and that's jump off.
That's a cliffhanger.
Yeah. Yeah, they were like, trying to talk about stretching this out. They were getting some work out of that one shot of the course deck that's chewing the cud.
That was very funny to me because a montage of them doing ship stuff, fishing, like looking at the stars. Cut to the fucking deer. It's chewing, looking annoyed at the entire fucking situation.
Usually kind of happy like that, but this one is just like, I want to be here. I want to go home.
It lives on the seafloor. This is unusual for it, but it's still funny. Like, and again, like this show is such fucking easy breezy.
It's just the fun that intrigue there as well, because you see this witch, and it's just again, it's also like how it's acted, and that's how it's kind of written as well. It's just like, yeah, there's something off about that. That can't be just like just he's got like this kind of thing for his character design he's putting into it. No, there's a resemblance there, and just the matter it is this you from the future? Is this your secret aunt? Is this something?
I presume it's her mom or something, because she does mention she's seen the ocean before and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but we were just talking about before about like in the previous one with they're dying and they just come back again, like just the same, just like in a video game, you might say. So has there been a similar deal like this in the past? And is there something even weirder going on? Or it's as simple as I am your secret mother. Sorry, I didn't tell you.
Then we've got Undead Murder Farce, episode 9, Werewolves, in which our heroes go in search of werewolves. We meet them climbing up a mountain, searching for the Forest of the Fangs, when they run into a doctor who recognizes them, I assume from their newspaper descriptions. They're the detectives who deal with monster cases.
Well, initially he's worried because he's shouting looking for some girl, and as soon as he sees them, he kind of like reaches for like a gun in his back of his pants.
I thought he was hiding that behind his back, so he wouldn't they wouldn't go out, because he's
I thought he was just being cool and tucking it down the waistband, but maybe I'm wrong.
He had that all because the doctor was out looking for the lost girl who's been presumed abducted by a werewolf. So if he's going to come, well, at least one pistol.
Yeah, that would be smart. But
he goes, hi, I didn't see you there with your giant rifle and cage in your hand. And
wait, cage?
Fucking head.
You're the cage user, the fucking the monster detectives. Oh fuck, we could really use your help. We got a monster problem.
I see you read the trades. Good.
And so we join the town and the church where they're all accusing each other of being secret werewolves. Like in the party game of the same name.
Yeah. There's no seer though.
I guess that'd be the equivalent of the outside guys, like our our head in a cage party, basically. Yeah.
Yes, they'll be saying, "Werewolves, open your eyes." So there's over the past year, every 4 months, a girl has been attacked, and most recently, is it Louise, the girl,
Yes.
Louisa, who's gone
Yeah, I think
missing?
that's the latest missing
She was
victim. Yeah.
in a wheelchair, supposedly. A werewolf came down the chimney and spirited her away. But
And the other thing is, like, every 4 months, like clockwork, on a rainy night, this happens. But
Few
they
days later,
find the
we
body
find
like a
in
few
the
days
woods.
later in the woods or floating on the river or that
It's
kind of
been
thing. Yeah.
eviscerated. It's been like shredded to bits.
And he has evidence to show it's the same bite marks in each scene. Like, he has a book that the werewolf bit on one of the prior things, and they can check it against stuff in this scene. It's like, yeah, it's the same tooth layout. So
yeah, and
but it wasn't raining the night she was abducted, which is one of the inconsistencies. Yeah.
Yeah, putting the clues together, like, I did check that the window was broken from the inside, glass on the outside. But it's like, because the bodies were like dismembered and destroyed like that, are you sure it was the girls who went missing when you found them? If one saying, well, a reason to be sure, but
they had the same birthmarks on and stuff on the parts of the bodies that were intact. So, and he's the doctor, so I guess he'd know that kind of thing.
Or he can cover up that kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now this is like loaded up front with like a flashback, very Hammer horror style of one even that
with the villagers with torches chasing a werewolf and her daughter into, I think it's like a windmill or a lighthouse. Is it a windmill or a lighthouse?
Into a building anyway, which gets set alight, and if you got destroyed the werewolf and saying, "Oh, mommy, I don't want to go for it. Listen to me right now. There's some people out there. They're just very frightened, And then you say like, "No, mommy, I just want to leave you." And they burn it down. The werewolf is still there because you get like a whole rundown of like, oh yeah, they're super tough, and they can switch between like a wolf form, human form, and then that full on werewolf form. And when the full on werewolf form is out, you better fucking watch yourself because they're going to tear you to shreds.
That's the part that's gigantic, bulletproof. Just all the cool werewolf stuff.
Yeah. So,
and then she does mention that she has met one werewolf before because a guy a guy from history got a bunch of monsters from the west to try and kill her basically at some point.
Yeah. So I'd say a lot of villagers are full of shit, and they're definitely keeping something under the vest.
The amount of times they're asked the question and they immediately look away, it was just like, you guys are terrible at this, aren't you?
Yes, because while Aya hasn't revealed it yet, it seems like the clues suggest that the girl has run off with the werewolf, perhaps.
Yeah.
They look like. Because also we get imagery of the dad, and we kind of see him seeing the daughter turning into a werewolf when he's having his panic attacks. So I wonder whether the actual problem they've got in the village is that girls keep on running off with werewolves and turning into werewolves.
Is it just something just you keep just spontaneously when they come of age just start exhibiting these traits? There probably was no werewolf involved. She probably turned into a werewolf and jumped out the window herself.
It's definitely like the young girl that was being protected by her werewolf mother at the start, is involved, because presumably if the mother died, then the daughter would be much older now, probably around the same age as these other girls. It's like, hey, you having a tough time at home? Want to fucking come into the woods and be a werewolf with me? I'll fucking turn you. It's cool.
They're testing a lot with the chimney. They got to ruin Sugaru's Rakugo cushion to test it out. But then they kind of figure out and saying, yeah, it would seem like something came out of the chimney because it was broken from the inside. But I'm just thinking that there was no second werewolf. There was no second werewolf in the chimney. There was just one werewolf that was the girl.
The couple of other things were they don't mention it, but when they throw his thing down his cushion, and he's like, my cushion, what the fuck?
Yes. It sprays ash everywhere.
Which isn't sprayed everywhere when they're
beforehand. Yeah, because
beforehand.
What it should have instead it's sooty wolf footprints instead of clean wolf footprints in ash is what it should be if something had come down the chimney.
Yeah. And the thing of the werewolf burst through the window that was it wasn't able to open, rather than the window that's just on a latch That kind
And
of
it knew which window it was. Yeah.
and as she goes through, it's like, oh, we got to catch this insane werewolf. He's like, not insane, because there's blood on the bed, but there's no blood trail leading to the window or outside of the window, which means that the werewolf probably didn't. And you said the mother didn't. There was nothing missing from the room, so it didn't wrap her up in the blankets and pull her out. It brought a bag. It was planned. This is not the actions of someone who lacks sanity. This was a planned situation. And the reason she's mostly not telling what she probably has already figured out for the most part is, I got to strike a deal with the mayor of the town to tell me where the Forest of Fangs is.
Yes. The mayor also knows a suspiciously large amount about the werewolves.
Yeah. Legend says specifically all these fucking things, does it? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
There's a werewolf. He's got a very shaggy kind of composure to him. So I think it was, it's like their village is hidden behind a waterfall. But that isn't the place you want. There's another place which is way more dangerous, and that's where you might find your answers. But to do that, would need that super rare diamond, that the dwarves made. Oh my god, what's that you got there?
Where the fuck did you get that cool fucking? What the hell? But just like a lot of the stuff is, okay, their village is really remote. There's no fucking roads to it. It doesn't have like a shop or anything like that. And I'm just like, what do you don't seem to be a farming community here randomly in the woods. What's the deal with that? And it's like, oh yeah, and down the waterfall in the woods, at the bottom of the waterfall is the mysterious werewolf village. And I was just like, this seems like a thing where you're some kind of community that doesn't require things that a lot of civilized people might need.
It also sounds like some sort of Scooby-Doo shit. We made up the story about the base of the waterfall. We've got a hidden gold mine or some crap down there.
Mm-hmm. I think it's probably more left because there's the guy who's the outsider who they're about to kill in the church when the doctor and our heroes get there. We know that they mentioned that the doctor's an outsider as well.
Yeah, like the outsider's like, I'm not the only one from out of town. The doctor's also from. Oh, hey doc.
And then two more out of towners show up right at the end of the episode. At the nearby train station, we get two more insurance investigators.
Like, your man being is just like, oh, tourist, brilliant, and it's just your one's like, I'm just a cowboy here to get a bounty. It's just like, what the hell? It's like a tiny cowboy and a very tall woman has shown up to mess things up. I imagine.
Just to get given their code name, we got to go full on it. Fun. I'm fan of my double darts. I gotta have double darts. 1, 2. So I'm Calamity Jane. Yeehaw.
Dear.
And that's where we leave it this week. I assume this is the last story in this series.
Yeah, based off of the intro, I'm kind of going off of now. The fact that this stuck in Philly Fog and a bunch of random fucking of the turn of the century kind of fictional characters all in a big melange and just is having a laugh with it. And is also doing the Conan. It's like, ooh, you can solve the mystery at home too, but I won't be able to because I'm terrible at that kind of thing. It's hitting a lot of the fucking things I love about a good show. Okay,
so the two agents apparently are. I assume the short cowgirl is Alice Rapid Shot.
Yep,
that sounds right. Yeah,
Kyle Chaintail.
That's Kyle Chaintail. That's also a cool name. I love their really ridiculous names. Yeah.
It was like with the naming conventions and also with the kind of white big cloaked uniforms. These are like refugees from a Taite Kubo manga right here.
Yes.
Yeah, and the fact that they have their numbers on them, which indicates their power level / rank. It's just like, it's all very designy. Yeah.
Yeah, they missed a trick not having freeze frame and their name shoot in like Marginal Service did. Introducing people with ridiculous names.
It's not about them, but it could be. In any other show, it would be.
Yeah.
I suppose with so many of them points in, you already knew who I am, of course, Arsène Lupin. You already are familiar with these guys. You've read the books, you've read the cartoons based on those books, which is just another one.
Then we've got One Piece live action on Netflix. First season, 8 episodes. I've watched 8 of them. How many have you watched, Wayne?
I think I've watched 4 because I watched the what's Usopp's Village? Is Syrup
Yes.
Village. So I think that's 4 episodes in. It might be 5, but I
That's
think
4.
it's 4.
That's 4.
Ah, grand. I'm halfway through it.
I've seen one.
Jeez.
Not out of any kind of like malice or negativity. It's just I watched one to check it out. I had a busy weekend.
Yeah, it's great, man. I only watch like one a day, like for the most part, because I was just like, yeah, I'm enjoying this. I'll enjoy it the next time around. Rather than sitting down and watching all of them, as is the intended thing these days, I think. But you know,
Yeah. I think I think it's a good abridged adaptation. I think is the best way to describe it.
Mm-hmm.
In that it shines the focus very much on the crew, and the downside to that is that bits of the stories which aren't on the crew in those arcs kind of gets left aside, particularly in the Barate arc.
yeah. I can see it kind of like drawing stuff together and condensing, but in a way that obviously you're doing 8 episodes. What was it, like 50, 40 minutes each, roughly?
About an hour each. They're about an hour.
Around that, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're gonna lose a bunch, but it's meant to work as a, like you say, an adaptation, not a 1-for-1.
Yeah, just for like they need to. I think they know it's more like one. I would seriously go and try and take on one of the biggest pop cultural juggernauts of the last like 2 or 3 decades. No, we got to be kind of conservative in our estimates. So for even how big the world is now, larger than the characters are, we need to have something to be kind of like keep coming back to this. So like there's so much in it, and it is like so much that stuff becomes like it seems inconsequential at one stage, because actually that was actually massively important, or massively kind of contributing to something like later on. But they may not have the actual scope to do that, and I think they're just trying to just say,
well,
do what you can, like and this is a nice like neat bracket.
I'd say the advantage it's got in adapting it now is that the comic is almost finished. So they know what things are important at the end of the story, which is why there is so much Garp and Kobe in this first season.
See, that's the thing. Like, but doesn't that take away from time they could have spent on adapting like parts that were from the comic and everything? It's like, but by giving that more time and making it still relevant in the plot, it is just like, those characters are actually really important. Like the focus on them is just like
that's
it's
there's I think a little bit of like editorial there, because if I this kind of the way it sort of like turned out, I actually needed to pick them up a bit more on there. So while I had opportunity to revisit the part of the story, I'm going to like beef it up a little bit as well. If you could do that, please, thank you, that'd be nice.
Yeah, because there's stuff in this season. So while it's adapting all the East Blue stories, there's stuff in this season which is from 10 years into the comic. There's stuff in this season which is there's a scene which only exists in the SBS of one of the volumes.
So it is canon, but it wasn't actually in the comic itself, or not even in the title.
So there's a character who has only existed as a doodle in the SBS, shows up in the live action.
That's good going, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the advantage it's got, is that it's got a pretty clear view of the end at this point. So it can pull stuff way down the line, pull scenes from down the line. So in theory, it will go quicker. I think it'd be fine in season 2 doing everything up to Alabaster at the same pace.
I'm looking at my things on the wall here. So it's done like volumes 1 to 10 or 11, I think, and then Alabaster goes to like 21 or 2. So I think that's actually that would be a good pace to do.
I feel like got off that first with that. They're probably gonna do like a volume per episode here.
Close, pretty close
give or take.
They've
to do it.
They've already introduced the concept of Baroque works. They've already stolen some scenes.
Yeah. So you've already laid the groundwork for it.
And put them in different contexts. So I think you could perhaps not do Whiskey Peak
Yeah, it's not as necessary, and also, how the fuck would that look? There's like a weird sort of a lobsided hill covered in.
I don't know. I think they did some pretty good stuff with the sets in this. Like
Yes.
But I mean, like as a background, like because this would be like a matte painting essentially. Yeah.
That's the thing which elevates it. Set wise, episodes 1 and 2 and episodes 5 and 6 are Popeye levels of folly if this had been a flop. But of course, it appears not to have been a flop.
Yeah.
It was probably money well spent.
Yeah, but it feels good though. It just feels like this is like an actiony based thing, but it's actually something I can feel. It's actually on a physical set. It doesn't have this kind of floatiness to it that a lot of like similar things that have been cinema and so forth upon say. No, it's just like there's an actual like a tangible thing in this. Which again, if we're like you're doing this adaptation of a comic, of a cartoon, like having that tangibility and making it feel even like a little bit realer than it was in the pages, that goes a long way.
Yeah, I'd be from watching the trailer in the Japanese dub. I'd be curious to watch this in Japanese because I thought it was really fun that she was doing Luffy's voice like in a lot more subdued way. That works better because her general Luffy voice would be too cartoony.
No, he's got a real like this Luffy as a real I get a real Don Quixote vibe off of me for and saying,
yeah,
I have a plan. You leave all the thinking to me. I'll sort it out. Don't worry about it. I got this. I can do this. I'm smart.
Yeah, that's the thing. The big changes because of bringing stuff like with Garp earlier on than it is down the line. Is that this is not the Luffy of the East Blue arc in the comic? Because that guy, the only thing you know of his past is that very first chapter, and then he's a guy who lives in the present and solves other people's problems caused by other people's pasts.
It's what's in front of him, and he reacts to it. Yeah.
Yes, which would be, I think, a weird character for a live-action Western TV show.
It wouldn't be the easiest thing to do. Yeah.
Outside of a detective.
Yeah, that's generally the most reactive kind of characters. Your detectives or your Batman or that kind of thing. Yeah.
So by bringing Garp in and having that as and the mirror of Kobe ongoing, it makes it more like the sort of TV writing people are familiar with. Also, it probably makes it a lot easier to adapt. Putting that change in.
I will say your man playing Luffy, he's fucking fantastic. Like,
yes, he's great.
He's very, like, he's as close to rubbery as you can get as a person. He's very animated and very kind of bouncy. He's like his exuberance does actually sell you on. It's like, this guy's a fucking all right. I want to see his adventures, which is exactly what you want from Luffy. Yeah.
There's a scene in 5 and 6 where I think it's Zoro and Nami and maybe Usopp are having a sexually innuendo-laden conversation going back and forth. And Luffy's there, smiling, happy that everyone's having a good time at all these jokes, but clearly not understanding the jokes at all.
Like, they're laying a lot of that groundwork faster of, it's like, Luffy, very asexual, not fucking aware of any of that shit fucking going on. They got in a little bit earlier with Zoro, has no fucking clue where anything is at any one time. Actually, he's fucking fantastic as well. The problem I nearly had in the first episode is the fight between Luffy and Alvida was very, like, there were some cool bits, but it was mostly like special effects and a nice set. But then the Zoro fight was like, oh, this is choreography and shit. Okay.
It got better, yeah. Oh, there's some great bar fights in this where, like, he's not even pulling out the throat. He's just like, just like swinging around. This is just the scabbard and just kind of clacking off of them, rolling across like the countertops and things like that. And then, like, for Luffy, well, like, he could always just go like phone and say, whoa. Again, the rubbery things you mentioned is like the effects I get for this. It's less like they're trying to do Mr. Fantastic. It's more like I feel more like The Mask, which was they're trying to do a cartoon guy in like in a live action film again.
Reality. Yeah,
that's probably maybe a more appropriate reference point considering the influences of this comic.
Yeah. I will say your man. Is it Makinu playing Zoro? He's very good at playing. It's like, I'm a cool edgelord guy.
Yeah,
just like
too cool.
He's very funny. The dryness of him. Yeah.
Yeah, it changes what Sanji is on the scene.
He'll have someone to play off. Yeah.
Yes, it does change significantly, and yeah, the Sanji is a take on Sanji which works really well, and I'm annoyed that I never thought that was an approach to him. It had never come across my mind, but it is an interesting take on Sanji. And the little kid who plays the little kid Sanji is even better than the guy playing the adult version of Sanji.
Excellent. That's something to look forward to.
We gotta future-proof this thing if it goes a long way.
Like again, I've only seen as far as as half of it. I thought Nami was great. I liked giving her actual extra scenes where you like they know where her character's going very soon, so just to lay the groundwork for that a little better than perhaps was set up in the comic. I thought your man who played Usopp was quite good. He comes across as kind of like the kind of like childishness of him.
I think the problem is though I think 3 and 4 are the worst episodes.
I enjoyed them because I liked the resetting of it in the mansion. I thought that was a good way to do it. Yeah,
but it doesn't feel as fanciful as the other 6 episodes.
It's a lot more contained. Yeah.
It almost feels like something which would air on Sunday night on the BBC in the 80s.
That's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yes.
Like a lot of the vibes I was getting from it, and I mean this entirely positively, is like kids movie, kids TV, that kind of thing. And I'm just like, that's exactly the kind of vibe you want to go for, except for the swearing and violence, which is like, can I convince my sister to get my nephew to watch this?
And a dude getting chopped in half in the first episode. I thought, shit, that's oh, I gotta find a chapter again.
This child is going to stab himself in the face. Are you okay with that?
That's the guy from the SBS. The guy.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He's not half the man he used to be. Whoa.
I think it was in the comic. It was only referenced in dialogue that Zoro had killed the previous Mr. whatever he was.
Yeah. Okay.
Somebody had asked, "What did that guy look like?" And here's a doodle in the SBS. And they based the guy's look off that doodle for the live action. The other big change, along with Kobe, of like having Kobe up and Helmeppo as well. The guy who plays Helmeppo.
Oh, he's so unlikable. He's doing a wonderful fucking job. Great fucking stuff.
Again, I gotta check that chapter again of him. It works well with the dude that got here, but he's got so I got your katana, Zoro, and he's just posing with that in the mirror, butt naked.
It's like it also shows you guys like when he gets ripped later on in the comic, it's like no, he was always jacked. But he's doing it in a way that's very comical in this, and it works very well for the character. And he has the long, awful hair where he's just like, which later on is his actual cool haircut. But he does such a good job of being just an unlikable prick. I hope they can kind of like win him back over, but maybe not by the end of this. We'll see.
Just got to join the Navy, put some sense into him.
Good.
But the other guy you get more of, apart from those 3, is Boogie. Boogie gets more scenes because they know how important Boogie is in the end game. So therefore, why not have more Boogie now?
Mm-hmm. I saw the previews. I saw the fucking Joker makeup Boogie, him going the chop cannon. And I was like, oh, this looks awful. But then your man playing him is like, oh, he's great. He's excellent. Yeah, just doing a wonderful job. Like again, this thing constantly surprised me. I think I came in with very low expectations, and it just surpassed him very easily.
Well, see, I didn't, because this is the thing. It's not everyone gets in their head, oh no, it's an anime, live action anime. No, it's not. It's a live action comic adaptation. At this point, we had over a century of live action comic adaptations. It should be more of a surprise when it's bad.
It's just like One Piece is so cartoony and silly.
It's just the trauma of like the recent Cowboy Bebop thing.
Yes.
But as you say, that was something that was it was
a fucking
that was an anime that made reference to all these other things, like fucking all these like gangster films, all these French New Wave films, everything like that, all these musical influences, everything like that. It was like feeding into it, but its the only reference point for the live action series was that anime. So it was just like a copy, a photocopy of a photocopy. So it's going to degrade in Ran Toner and Cyan.
Yeah. So Cowboy Bebop lives in the world of your live action Eon Flux, your live action George of the Jungle. It's the live action Scooby Doo. That's where it lives. It's part of that continuum. It's not part of the continuum that is Cats and Jammer Kids all the way through to One Piece live action. That's comics to cartoons, but also comics to live action. They can have multiple adaptations.
And much of
my
all
research
those
in this discovered there was an 1895 Cats and Jammer Kids live action short. Because I was like, oh yeah, it's been a century of people making comics into movies. It shouldn't be that hard.
And if you're willing to, like, there was stuff I was missing in this that was from the comic and whatnot, but like I was kind of like, yeah, I see why you left that out. I see why you've like condensed that together. That works well for what you've made here, and using the comic as a storyboard, not as like this shot needs to be exactly the same as in the comic. It's like it doesn't need to be exactly the same. You can change it based on the context. That
no, they do a good job. You know, I was it's. Kind of like fun doing the moves out now. He's doing the gum whip and shit like that. So one saying, "Oh, I can picture the panel. Like I can picture when Zoro crouched down, as it goes over his head and smacks the other dude. It's like, oh yeah, I can picture it, but it kind of they just let it kind of move in its own way."
They're quite good at also hiding some of the gum attacks, so they don't actually have to do any animation.
I mean, that's important too. You gotta, like with animation, you gotta spare your budget where you can.
Well, like no, the more intense they want to go for it, they just like go for them as fast as he's already done fucking like super fast fucking by punch into him, snapped it back before you even
again, see the actor doing such a wonderful job. Like he's actually recoiling from the bounciness of it, and his bounciness is selling it, not the CG.
Yeah, it was fun to see all the bitter his Marvel fans going, see, you could have done it.
Cowards! Man.
I assume the delivery seagull was there. It looks great, but I assume that was to assure people when we get to Chopper, don't worry, we can
going to dress a child as a reindeer? What are they going to do?
No, it'll be Detective Pikachu style.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to go.
It's recognized because if you design a character, and you can kind of make out a kind of fur things, but it doesn't look like a reindeer fawn, I suppose. Just put a hat on.
They have a little plush animal there for the actors to interact with. They'll have a giant buff dude and an actual reindeer on set, intermittently changing between the three. Yeah,
pantomime horse.
Anyway, yeah. So I assume if they can balance their books, we'll get a second season because it does seem.
It'd be nice, like based off of this, like yeah, I'd definitely watch more. I was probably coming in too low expectations, but even like if I thought it was shite, which I don't, I knew it was going to be a thing that would bring in new fans, and people would be like, oh, I should check out the comic or the cartoon or any number of the fucking things of adaptations of it. Yeah, and it's definitely going to do that. So, win-win.
Yeah, well, there's always so many things you can do to try and get all those holdouts saying it's too long. Oh, okay, I can read the whole thing for £2 online for and that's legitimate and properly translated. It's too long. Okay, but just
read as much of it as you like, and if you don't like it, stop.
Yeah.
It's a weird complaint. Last thing I want to say, your man playing Garp. I didn't expect him. I didn't expect Garp to be like flat and serious, but somehow it's even fucking funnier.
It's when he has the hat, when he has the dog hat, and just he's just like he's being super serious as well. If one getting orders off
the hound of the military or the navy, it's just like I always sink my teeth in and I never let go. And it's just like
no one said anything about the hat. It's just like that's perfectly. That's exactly how it works in One Piece.
Or like when he's stalking around the room trying to like talk to Kobe and make him a better Marine recruit, and he's just like, "Why are you moving like that and talking so fucking seriously?" It's a great fucking direction. Yeah.
It is, and it pays off when you do get to see more of the Garp, But yeah, Garp's great. I like the use of Garp because he's a great character, and this is essentially that cover story in some form that spread out across the season. So
Yeah. But they're more directly related to the ongoing plot of the Straw Hats and stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and one last thing about the dad had the whole Goldwater to execution and all like that. Didn't get the title drop there. He says the treasure is out there, but doesn't say it's all in one piece. It's like no title drop. It's like, oh, how do you know? So I wonder what was the thinking there.
He does leave a huge amount of information out. He does say, "Fucking go get my shit," and that starts it. But yeah,
you get to go. Oh, there's that character. There's that character. In the
yeah. I was doing that as well. Is that a Cutty Flam I Spy? That kind of fucking thing.
Bungo Stray Dogs, episode 58, Land of Inhuman Demons, part 1. Our first Inhuman demon, though, is Kenji, as we learn. I think we've been told this before. I think the flashback was from an episode, is don't make Kenji angry.
I appreciate that they didn't actually take out the super strength guy with a guy who's like, my power is bigger super strength than you. It's just like, oh, not if you get him mad.
Super strength comes as standard in the hunting dogs, and so you also have whatever ability you bring, which I can make my sword go really, really long, really, really fast.
But this guy just has super strength, and now he's mad because I think what sets him off is him realizing, oh, my friend needs my help, and you're preventing me from helping him.
Yes, and that's what it caused him or somebody when the chief of Kichi was just like, of course, it was this thing about like a dude who turned back the landslide. The village, was wrecked by a massive landslide, but nobody was harmed, nothing was destroyed because somebody just like almost like
one person was harmed.
Gouged the earth out. Like a giant came out and gouged the earth out and let it flow into it.
His best friend was killed, like his house was collapsed in it, and that's the thing that set him off to reshape it like he's a god just scooping up the fucking yeah.
So apparently his ability is the power of nature's force.
Yeah. Also, don't make him hungry. You wouldn't like him when he's hungry either.
Yeah, he mostly sticks like that. It's not healthy to get angry that fucking often. So mostly he replaces anger with hunger, which is how he manages most days.
Tetsuo gets a thrashing, and then Tetsuo's like, I'm fucked up. Can you kill me, mate?
Wow, dude, team like that. God.
Because it's basically him
looking for your friend, pal.
The reason he went so far as he did is like the ideal thing to do was actually to go after the vampire fucking thing. But I'm going to stick here with you because I think you know where my friend essentially has gone missing to. And he's just like, I regret not fucking... I regret that I decided to stick it out for my friend, even though he'd be against that, and I made a mistake as a hunting dog, and that's the thing that calms him down from braining him with a giant prick. He's just like, oh, yeah, I could help you go find your friend. That's not a problem. But first, a sleepy time for me.
Oh, thank God.
Well, I like how he helps him up. He helps him up, and then goes, first, I need a rest. And he falls down, and Tetsuo's like, so do I. And he falls back down after being helped up.
Yeah, and they get the cool guy thing of as they're collapsed, they're like just barely conscious, like, hey, what's your name, by the way? And it's like that, and they exchange names, and it's just like that's the best thing I've learned all fucking day.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I've achieved all day, basically. Yeah.
Atsushi is not one that battle of hearts and minds, because she's still under probably the influence of the pages, where she doesn't doesn't believe the kind of story he's trying to sell, no matter how convincing it is and how convincing Brown Boy made it sound. So
I think it's the thing of she again just drops a line slightly wrong where she's like, that what's his name is missing again. The guy who we now know has been turned into a vampire, but from their point of view, he's missing, and he's like, that doesn't add up because according to the thing, you've been told that we got rid of Jono, so that should be the thing. So why are you saying he's missing? It's like doesn't add up.
Okay,
like,
too late, punk.
You're a baby now. How about that?
You're gonna sleep like one anyway.
And
she wakes up later, chained to a fucking bed in a cell. It's like, oh, not this again.
See, I was thinking, it's just like, is it a very bad idea to turn him into a child? Because when he was a child, he had no control over the were-tiger. It seems like a bad thing to do,
Meanwhile, Dazai's going, Sigma, pop quiz. Can you figure out how I'm communicating with the outside?
I'll tell you how I'm
There's no
communicating
time
with
for that.
them, but can you figure out the way they're communicating to me? Huh? Can you figure that out yet?
So yes, he's communicating by the heartbeat, which we do, but it also turns out that there is a cat burglar who can stop time imprisoned in the prison, and so
She's on a plea deal. If
Yeah.
she works with your
Bungo,
man on the outside, he'll give her a reduced sentence. Presumably
every
not
day
limited.
you like she has basically it's a world though. We can just do it for a few seconds, which is enough for a cat burglar.
And it
So
extends like a few kilometers out from herself, but she's completely tied up. What possible use could that be for her?
so
And
time starts for everybody in the prison except one man.
the guy who's
That's how he
immune to
knows.
fucking effects.
yes, and he's knocked out the guards and changed the security.
Actually, as a matter of fact, I've already done that. It's like, so I'm opening up this security room and not trying to escape currently because I've already knocked out these guards earlier. And yeah, it looks like I've already changed the passcodes. And oh, he's in that room that drowns you with heavy water. So I have already won.
Theodore is just like, I've got this all, like, people coming in from the outside. I'm orchestrating things from within the prison. And then Dad says, like, dude, I run this prison. I have been for weeks now. You just didn't know.
He's like, I've been thinking of ways to kill Shuya every day for 7 years.
Shuya's not dead. He's
watching him on the security camera, he's like, Shuya, we
way.
had some good times too, didn't we, vampire buddy, huh? I can't think of any right now.
And it pauses for so long on there. It's like nearly a half a minute. And then the hat bobs up to the surface of the water. He's clearly dead. He's not dead.
I mean, like, he's a vampire. I'm not exactly sure.
He's also like
heavy water.
Top 5 favorite characters of most of the fan base. So
I'm sure eventually he won't be a vampire as well. I just like the bit where
there's the fact that there's vampirism and there's a guy who literally can stop an ability there, which means he would turn you back to a human. You know, that kind of thing. Yeah.
When Dazai's saying to Dostoevsky, well, Shuya can't use his power because it's not going to be much use against heavy water, so you're going to have to use your ability power. Come on, let me see what your ability power is. It's probably not the sort that's of any use for you getting out of this situation.
Didn't count on this, did you? Just like, they need to make up, like, these had some contrivance there to keep Dazai out of the game. Much like Luffy can't just go up to the end of the fight immediately because it would be over too quickly. It's just like nice to kind of see him get let out and just do some shit. And because he's thought of all the angles of how his power works and how it's obviously how it works in relation to everybody else's. That's how they can all make the most use of it. It's not like he can control gravity or turn into a tiger or fucking make anything he holds 100 times better.
It's not a big flashy one, yeah.
He just has this, but just the execution. The execution of it is amazing.
Meanwhile, Aya and Bram are sneaking out of the airport in a cleaning contractor's truck.
It's a pretty good plan for a kid, honestly. Yeah, they can't check every fucking supply thing. So eventually they'll have to drive out of here with their supplies. It's cool.
We learn that the sword is a former ability user who turned into a sword when he died.
And imbued the sword with his ability. Yeah.
And it had been used against Bram twice.
Yeah, and we get the kind of tragic thing of, the vampire being strung up in the village is like, please spare my citizens and that kind of thing. To which they're like, kill the vampire,
It was an absolute, like, Christ on the cross, forgive them, Father, they know not what they do.
Yeah. That's what they're going for, yeah.
It's all going well for them, and then Akutagawa discovers them and slices the top of the truck out. And Ram tells Aya to flee. Save yourself.
He's pretty nice after all.
They do explain the sword thing, because I was like, couldn't you just pick up the sword and control the vampires? And it's like, no. It brands the person who picks it up with a brand that lets them control the use of the sword's power, which means me. And he picked it up, which means he has the brand, even though he doesn't have me attached to the sword. So you can't control the vampires with me.
ID locked.
All I can do is turn people into vampires, honestly. That's all I can do right now.
Yeah, so I hope he gets some sort of heroic ending for old Bram at this point. Even though he's also played comedy a great deal as well with his not understanding. He gets it in. He gets it in this week as well of not understanding a horseless carriage.
Not understanding a horseless carriage, not understanding why they can't escape by just burying themselves for a couple of centuries.
Wait till he finds out this horse's carriage also has like the miniature orchestra in a box. It's just there. Like, oh,
Blow his little mind. Yeah.
Then we've got the shorts. Noble Farmer, episode 9. Cow Society, in which we learnt that inside Cow Society there are bullies.
yeah, they do be doing this. I didn't. Wasn't a dairy farm we had, we just like raised for beef, but yeah, a lot of the same behaviors. There'll be
Always some prick.
There'd been a new one back from the mart, and then it doesn't seem to be gelling well with this one or these ones of that. It's like, oh man, not that. And they will try, especially when they're in the slats or in the sheds over the winter. They will fucking poke their head through and try to rob food off the one next to them. They're little bastards like that, squeezing each other out. So you always got a few runts. You're trying to encourage a little bit, Some real jerks out there, much like human society.
But don't worry, they get theirs. Yeah, they'll get theirs. And the other cows are like, "Oh, brilliant! The bullies are gone."
Moo.
All down at like a cafe, eating like a table full of hay, and Ed was just like, "Are they not fucking concerned?" And it's just like they're just like, "No, fucking bullies gone. Their lives are better now."
Is this the one which has also got the letter from the reader?
It opens with the letter. Yeah. Where
Yeah.
she's like,
Joyce
"Hello, I'm
is
a
a cow.
female manga author."
I thought you ought to talk with the cow. You must be a dude. It's just like, God, fucking people don't raise
I'm a dairy cow. The majority like female.
I gave you all the clues. You could have guessed who I was.
And she just concludes like farmers' brains are just wired differently.
I don't. That's about basic knowledge of biology. You think would give us some kind of indication, but I guess not. It's the way we're kind of imprinted to call a dog. Oh, it's a good boy. Oh, is it a good girl? Oh, I don't know. Just go for it's a good boy. Some dogs always seem like they're male. Some animals always seem like they're male. Some other animals always seem like they're always female. Again, this is cartoons for it. They usually reinforce all these stereotypes.
And then we got Ikimono-san. Episode 8, again, forcing a stereotype that bears will get their heads stuck in honey jars.
A scurrilous rumor that one bear did. Did we all do it? Yeah, we do. Look, I know it's ironic right now, but it's just, are you going to help me out or what, Ikimono-san? And dog is like, yeah, we'll try.
So
can't
they
get
draw
the pot
his
out your head,
face
though.
on the pot.
On the pot, it's basically the same thing. You can express through the pot. And the victory dance is the thing that fucking made me laugh in this fucking episode.
Then, like 1 week later, to go check in. Oh, how's that bear doing? It's like, oh, she's okay. And look, here are her cubs.
And they've got smaller jars on their heads. But also
and
with
that
faces.
the bear. The bear, the kid, the dog, the little baby bears with their heads also in jars, and the bees all start doing the victory dance. I was just like, oh, this is so good, man.
I mean, I'm annoyed that this didn't come out a few weeks earlier, and I could have put it in the bear panel.
Oh, yeah.
This would have been a perfect ending for the panel.
Yeah.
Just show the whole thing, no context at all. Just think of that what you will. Hope it's been educational. Oh, dear.
Yeah. So, that's episode 8 there. That's it. There's nothing more. Is Jujutsu Kaisen? That's back next week.
It is back, yeah.
Okay.
Or was it back in the next episodes and we should have put it in there?
Yeah. I think this is the one with the giant robot in it.
Okay.
We're getting up that day about the new opening and stuff for the Shibuya incident. Arc is probably going to be closed out of this, and it's probably the last time this comic was very coherent and sort of like you get a good grasp of what's happening, and then it's like, well, you're just going to be along for the ride, and you're going to be in proper Noun City not long after this.
At least this week in the comic, we did have characters saying we should probably get involved, and then others actually explained why they should get involved.
It's his fight. It's like, I mean, we could probably help though, right?
I mean, I felt like that reaction needed to have happened several weeks ago.
I guess it's happening really quickly, action-paced, as they're watching this fight happen on telly. But for us, the viewer, it's like, we should get involved. It's like, no, we're the backup plan. It's just like, establish that early. So I'm not sat there like, why are they all just watching him on telly? Why aren't they doing something?
Drive over to the show and jump offices and demand they get involved. That's it for this week. We're back next week with more of the same and some Jujutsu Kaisen. Goodbye.
Till next time.